Professor Sachs, your direct comments about the latest news suggesting the U.S. would suspend funding for WHO, pending on the U.S. review of WHO's performance.
Well, I think it's disgraceful. WHO is a crucial institution at the very moment of this world epidemic, so it needs all the help that it can get. Of course, what Trump is trying to do is to shift the blame for the United States' failure to control the epidemic to WHO or to China or to anyone that he can do so, because he does not think properly. He does not think honestly. He is just desperately trying to shift responsibility for the terrible epidemic that is raging in the United States out of control. We should understand, especially at this moment of crisis, to be mutually accountable and responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this announcement today about halting payments to WHO is so disgusting, is really what it is. Because this is, of course, absolutely the worst conceivable moment to be even thinking in such a direction.
So, Professor, to you, what has been WHO's performance since the coronavirus was known to the world?
I think almost everywhere, including at WHO, including in China, including in other countries, everybody has been trying to fight this epidemic in the best possible way and to understand it as rapidly as possible. In early January, that something very unusual and very frightening was happening. It wasn't known exactly how and when, but many countries began to take very strong precautions. And maybe we could have known days earlier or days later, but the fact of the matter is, by the middle of January, the situation was very frightening. And when China acted to put the lockdown on Wuhan on January 23rd, there was no doubt that this was a full-scale emergency. But some countries reacted in time, and the United States did not. I don't think Donald Trump understood or cared what was happening, but he certainly didn't understand what an epidemic is and how dangerous it is. And so all through late January and then through February, he kept on saying it's over. It'll be done soon. It'll be done in April. It'll just go away. It's almost like magic. It's a terrible, terrible failure and very frightening for the American people, I'm afraid. We see that some countries, and thank goodness China, Japan, Korea, Singapore, countries in China's neighborhood have largely gotten the epidemic under control. Not perfectly. This is a very difficult virus, but it isn't explosive. But in the United States, unfortunately, it really exploded, and we have so many deaths and so many cases, and the situation is still very, very difficult in the United States.